you want to pass it on to. And welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here also, Karen and I, to support Renee and to meet you guys and share what she's really excited about. So glad you're here. Go ahead, Renee and Karen.
All right. Well, thank you so much for inviting me into this group and allowing me an opportunity. And the first people I do want to thank are the people that joined the call, because I know Monday evenings can be challenging, and everybody on this call is married or has children or a little bit of both and works outside their home. So it can be very challenging to jump on, but I wanted to tell everybody thank you, because it's very overwhelming, the commitment that you made on a Monday evening. Just wanted to describe a little bit about what brought me to Juice Plus and why I had asked and invited everybody to the program. Mr. Porter and I had started a health and wellness journey about 3 years ago that began with a focus on weight loss. But as we've been moving through that process, what we've discovered is it's not just about food, it's about exercise, and exercise can have a negative connotation to it. I mean, I'm not a fan of thinking I've got to get up and exercise every day, but in speaking to a physician recently and asking, what's one simple change that we can make? She said, change your thought process about exercise. She said, just think about movement equaling medicine. If movement is medicine, then it's not necessarily exercise. Everybody can move. And that made an impression on me. So, my friend Amy that I introduced to you a few minutes ago, she and I will go probably several times a week and walk around our neighborhood, which ends up being about 2.5 miles, depending how many times we go. We've been around a couple of times. And what I enjoy about it and appreciate with her friendship about walking is that it no longer seems to be a labor or a chore. We get out there, we laugh, we talk about anything and everything under the sun. And she just remarked this past week, she goes, we talk about some crazy crap when we're walking around the block. It is. But it's a lot of fun. And I enjoy that because we can go for the walk. And by the time the walk is done, I'm like, I really enjoyed that. I didn't see it as exercise. So if anybody takes encouragement from this meeting tonight, let that be something to think about, is simply moving is part of your medicine. That's part of your recovery and your health process as well. I think the other thing for Paul and I that we wanted to do is, we're all going to age. We're all going to get quote unquote older, but I don't want to grow old. So as I age, I want to look at that more as a number. And I want to look forward to getting up in the morning and not having aches and pains or thinking about, oh my gosh, it's just one more day I've got to get through. I really want to look forward to what the day has to offer us and feel good about it and get out and be involved in anything and everything. I want to learn how to paddleboard. I've never paddleboarded this year. So I'm trying to make goals for myself that are healthy goals, not just in eating, but in part of that wellness journey. And so as I sit back and I make these goals for Paul and Paul has his own goals, one of the things that we wanted to make sure of is looking at our supplements. So we've gone through, really did a lot of self-education through YouTube videos, through talking to others who have been on a health journey. And really the last thing that we've come down to is, what are the supplements? And we know that the supplements that we've purchased, some have been ordered, some are organic, some are over the counter, but they're really not, they're kind of laced with other things. So some of them have like soybean oil and stuff, and we've learned that those oils can cause inflammation. And really what I was looking for is more of a whole foods program that was just all natural, non-GMO. And so Karen and I, like I said, we went to school together in Williamsburg, and we just reconnected probably a couple of years ago through Facebook. And she had mentioned that this is what she does. And so I just reached out to her. I know her, I trust her. And so reaching out, she just really shared some simple information with some research and data. And I thought, okay, well, this is something worth trying. I want to go ahead and just dive in and let's see. And so Paul and I have been taking it for about 30 days now, and we're kind of moving into our next 30 days. And as a result, I thought, there's a lot of people in my life that I care about that I know are on a similar journey, and I would like to share this information with them.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you for that introduction to the whole Zoom. And I love that she says she cares enough to share it, So she's putting herself out there because she cares. So anyway, I'm Sharon, and I've actually been with the Juice Plus company for 21 years. So I'm going to share what Juice Plus is. So like she said, she's doing all these things to change her diet and lose weight and everything. But when it comes to supplements, it's confusing, right? There's over 10,000 supplements out there. How do you know what to do? how do you know what gap you need to bridge? Is it a vitamin gap? Is it a whole food gap? And so I'm going to help share with you what I've learned from a network of professionals over the last 21 years. And I was not a healthy eater at all. I was eating terrible, and I was from Ohio. So it was meat and potatoes, or we'd go to, fast food. So it was fast food meat and potatoes. Or when my mom married my stepdad, it was fried meat and potatoes. So there was not a lot of fruits and vegetables on the table, and so I didn't really learn this information I'm going to share with you till I was 32. And later in the presentation, you'll see my before and after picture, and you'll see I've made a lot of health changes. And now I'm in my 50s and I'm going strong, because of the health changes. But I used to be super run down. On a 3-hour drive, I'd have to stop off the side of the road to sleep. I was that tired and drained just by the sun coming in and everything. And then I was fueling myself with sugar, caffeine. I thought, oh yeah, I'm going on a road trip. That's what I'll have. Or I'm in graduate school. That's what I'm going to have to get me through 6 hours in the library. And so I was actually suppressing my immune system all the time, because sugar actually suppresses your immune system and it feeds cancer cells. These are things I learned along the way. And then I used to have those bumps on the backs of my arms and tops of my legs. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but it's disturbing. People would be like, what's wrong with your arm, Sharon? Because it looked like a rash I'd broken out. But that was nutrition. So I'm going to just go ahead and start sharing my screen so that you guys can just see this presentation about what really hit me and everything through the years. And so that you can learn, and so you can support Renee on her journey to better health, and also think of her as a point person for your particular crowd. All of us have our own crowd that we know, whether it's our friends or our family, whatever, that we care about. And that's really how I ended up sharing Juice Plus all these years. Is I thought everybody needed to know this information. So one of the first things I found out was this American Cancer Society poster. And I was like, what? This is how you prevent cancer? None of us ever think we're going to get cancer, right? But there is this statistic: 1 in 3 women, 1 in 2 men. So, although you don't think you're going to be part of the statistic, you would still want to do it, whatever you can, right, to help alleviate some of that chance, right? So this American Cancer Society poster was a mind blower, that out of all the things they could say, which they used to say, watch for, irregular moles, stop smoking, things like that, they're saying eat more fruits and vegetables, okay? And then there's all these articles connecting cancer and fruit and vegetables. The more fruits and vegetables you eat, you prevent more diseases. So it's not just cancer. Like, you could look up any disease process, and it's all going to come down to the first recommendation is going to be eat more fruits and vegetables, whether it's Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, diabetes, even any of them. Okay, so Time magazine back in 2003 says the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you, it's that they're so good they could save your life. Sometimes people turn to juicing because the recommendation is to eat so many. Well, one of the reasons why is because that has your vitamins and your minerals. Now, I always thought the vitamin was what my grandmother gave me, which was the vitamin C, And so, there are those isolated vitamins, like on the left, that's a vitamin label. So you're getting about 13 to 30 in a vitamin, okay? In a apple, which is where fruits and vegetables have vitamins and minerals. So in the apple, or the kale, or the papaya, or the peach, or any fruit or vegetable, they have like 10,000 nutrients, and they're not all named. So when they find vitamin C in the apple, they say, oh, there it is, let's replicate it, because it's easy to replicate. And it's also connected to a specific disease that they've named, but there's actually 9,999 other good things that are in the apple if they just take the vitamin C. So, and then the vitamin C or the calcium, it works better when it has all the synergy of all the little elements. And also, when you have like vitamin C in an apple, it's like 5 milligrams. So what do us as Americans do? We mega dose it to like 1,500 or 1,000 or whatever. And that's why, like, when an OBGYN might say, hey, you should take a calcium supplement, also take magnesium. One of the best sources of calcium for your bones is actually green leafy vegetables. So It has the magnesium, it has phosphorus, vitamin K, things like that, boron, that help the calcium actually get absorbed and stay absorbed. So it's better to have the green leafy vegetables. So just know that every single fruit or vegetable does something great for the body, and they all have different properties depending on what color they are and things like that. So they're called phytonutrients when they're in the fruit or vegetable. So that's one reason why you want so many fruits and vegetables, is vitamins and minerals. The other, I learned about this, that every day that you don't have enough fruits and vegetables in your body, it's like standing in front of an x-ray machine. Now, none of us would want to do that, right? When we go to the doctor's office, they put the thing on us, they escape to the other room. So what's happening in our body is we have something called oxidative stress. Just from breathing, from, doing whatever. Some people have a lot of oxidative stress. Some people have a little less. You don't know. So you want to have the same amount, though, of antioxidants to neutralize the oxidative stress. So what does the oxidative stress do? It actually hits on your good cells 10,000 hits a day. So it could be your skin cells, your brain cells, all kinds of different cells in our bodies. There's trillions of cells. And so you don't want to have that happening every day. So that's why the recommendation is 7 to 13 fruits and vegetables every day. 7 is for children. That's a minimum too, 7. And then 9 to 13 for adults. So if you look at this picture, the lady, the left side of her face looks like she's had a harder life, right? Well, that's more oxidative stress. The apple, we're applying this every day when we slice the apple, but we put lemon on it. That's using an antioxidant to stop that oxidation, okay? So similarly, that's what's happening in our body. And if you look up any disease process that you're worried about, oxidative stress is going to be a culprit in that disease process. So we need to eat lots of fruits and vegetables because we're all oxidizing, okay? And we need our vitamins and minerals and things. So why so many? 7 to 13, like I said. The produce nowadays is picked way before it's ripe, okay? And you get a lot more nutrients when you actually let the fruit or vegetable ripen on the vine. That's when most of the nutrients come in, just like you wouldn't want to take a baby out before 9 months is over. You don't want to take the fruit or vegetable off the vine before it's actually ripened, but we do it all the time. And then they ship it and, and truck it and all that for like a couple weeks sometimes. And then they gas it or irradiate it so it looks good at the grocery store. So anyway, we have to eat a lot because to make up for that and just different reasons, okay? And we're not eating enough, and we don't eat different ones all the time. We tend to eat the same ones all the time. So when Juice Plus was introduced to me, I'm all about simple and easy. This is fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And I was like, sign me up. I knew I wasn't a healthy eater, and my friend was. That was the thing. She was somebody I could depend on, just like Renee's saying about Karen. My friend was a juicer. She came from a family where they were juicing to fight disease for the mom. And so she understood the value, and she was so excited to have found this. Well, this has been around for over 25 years. It's the largest selling nutritional product in a capsule in the world, okay? And it has the most research behind it, which we'll get to. So you take I can't talk tonight, 2 fruit capsules or gummies. We have really good gummies. They're actually called soft chewables, but they look like gummies. And then you take 2 vegetable capsules, you take 2 berry capsules a day, and you've had all this produce that's been vine ripened. Like I said, you're not really getting that unless you're going to a farmer's market and they just picked it. And you're getting all the variety of the colors, like the blues and the purples. That's really good for circulation and brain health and things like that, and the heart. And the fruits and vegetables you'll learn is good for immune system and all kinds of different things. The greens are good for iron and calcium, and anyway, all the different colors do different things. So I started taking this 21 years ago and have totally benefited, and I totally depend on it too. I pop extra if I'm starting to get tired. I'm in a racquetball tournament this weekend, so I'm going to be taking more Juice Plus just so I can be at my best game. People have all kinds of stories about what it's done to help them, but basically you want to think about what is it I'm eating every day, and then am I getting enough fruits and vegetables every day? Am I getting, all the different colors, the variety, the vine ripen and all that? Juice Plus was meant to bridge that gap. it's based on the juicing concept as opposed to the vitamin concept. So it's fruits, veggies, berries, and that is your micronutrients that has vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals, live enzymes. And then we have an omega, which is a vegan omega, which is very different. And that just came out in the last couple of years. It took 10 years for them to come up with a better omega than anything else out there. And they actually went to the algae and also some seeds that they cold pressed the oils to have the best fat for you. You know, we all eat lots of fat, I'm sure, but we want to have the best fat for our brains and things like that. So it's a wide array of omegas. And then we have the complete shake. I use that every day as my breakfast. It kickstarts, jumpstarts your metabolism. It's a way to stay full, also get a lot of fiber in your diet. And it's your macronutrients. Like, where's my next great meal coming from? The complete shake is really good. I wish I would have had it in college, but I've lived off of it pretty much for the last 21 years. And it actually is my protein source. So here's my before and after. So at 32, I knew nothing about nutrition. And I had this baby, baby Matthew, and I had read the best odds diet in the pregnancy book, but I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about, all these different things like bran and brown eggs. Why would I want to eat brown eggs? You know, it was like omegas. I don't know what you're talking about, flaxseed. So I did the best I could. It wasn't great. But then I had my second baby, which isn't pictured here, a baby boy, and they were back to back. But by the time I had that baby, I had Juice Plus, I had the complete shake, and I had flaxseed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 300 times healthier. But then this last baby on the bottom here, I had at age 40. So at 40, your doctor's like, oh my gosh, you should not be pregnant. Here's a brochure about amniocentesis. Here's one about cystic fibrosis. I'm like, listen, buddy, I'm so much healthier now than I ever was with my other kids. And it was, you know, like 8 years later from the top picture. So thank goodness everything went well. And I had a healthy baby girl after those two boys. So anyway, I always encourage people, you know, you just got to be super healthy, be the best you can be. And you know, go for optimal health. Don't go for mediocre health. The minimums in society is about just the minimums. We want you to have optimal health, like Renee's saying. She, what did you say? You said you want to live long, but not be, but not grow old, right? So not to feel old, you know, to
Right.
be able to do things and not be a part of the medical system. She's probably learned enough to know that, right? So
Absolutely.
anyway, Juice Plus is different because it's a food. It's not a multivitamin. I won't go into total detail on that. But it's also NSF certified, which means that everything that's on the label is in the product, and then the product is on the label. There's nothing more, nothing less. And it's being checked by a third party not for profit agency that comes in and checks products. And you can read about them. That's NSF certification. And we even have it for Olympians and high profile athletes. And so, you know, there are those thousands of, you know, different supplements out there to bridge that gap. But none of them really hit all three of these things, being a food, not a vitamin, having that third party, because supplements do not have FDA approval or disapproval. They do for the label and they do for the manufacturing, but they don't test them. So you want to make sure that there's no lead, there's no pesticides, things like that. And that's what NSF does. The third, and what really got me excited because I had a lot of research background, is that it actually has product specific research behind it. And so let me see what I have here. Oh, I skipped around on this. Hold on, guys. Okay, here are the research institutions. So this meant a lot to me. Back when I was first learning about Juice Plus, there were only 3 studies. And so here's how many places have said, I want you to do Juice Plus research on my population. You know, and they're all different types of people, whether it's pregnancy studies at University of Mississippi, at Nemours Clinic, they used it on children. And then at MD Anderson, they used it on stage 4 ovarian cancer patients, and that was Juice Plus and the complete shake. And so here is about the research. You know, there's lots of studies. There's over 40 now, and you could see the journals up at the top. And basically, it helps all the different functions in your body, whether it's your skin or your cardiovascular wellness or your immune system or your pulmonary function. You know, so when you give your body the right nutrition, it knows what to do with it. So Dr. Richard Du Bois, who is very prominent He says there's nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that's been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. And then I skipped a couple of products back here. There's the omega. I told you about that. Here's what's in it. You know, even sea buckthorn berry, they go like into mountains to find sea buckthorn berry. And if you just read about that one ingredient, you'd be amazed at how great of an ingredient that is, that they go to great lengths to get it into our omega. And then this is about the complete shake. It has a lot of good plant protein and fiber, and it keeps your blood sugar stable. And you know, you're eating sprouts, you're eating ancient grains, things like that. If you put that on a plate, there's no way I would ever eat that. But in a nice shake, like a chocolate banana peanut butter shake, I eat it all the time. And then it has an edamame based soy, which is non genetically modified and water washed. So it's not totally processed, which is what people are concerned about. It's a different kind of soy that's really good for you. And here's me with my two boys. There's Daniel on the left that you didn't get to see in the pictures, and Matthew on the right. And Matthew actually did end up having developmental delays, the one I didn't have very good nutrition with, but he's going strong. After 22 years, he's doing great. So anyway, we got him on track. And then we have the Tower Garden. And this was incorporated into our product line, which we don't have very many products, which is good because we're just talking about bridging the gap with fruits and vegetables, you know? And so this is something where you can grow year round in a garden that waters itself. So you're not using up a lot of your water. And it's kind of foolproof, really. You plug it in and it recycles the water, it goes to the top, and then it sprinkles the roots, and it's also aeroponic, and so it makes the roots really strong. So you can grow 20 to 28 plants in a tower garden, indoors or outdoors, and actually it grows faster, and it has the same antioxidant capabilities, things like that. Okay, so that's the tower garden. This is my husband, and he's a product of making all kinds of simple changes, which is what we're about. You know, we're not about being perfect, but we're about simple changes. And he's a very good example of that, because I used to really pray a lot and nag a lot, and now he's on his way to just being the best he can be, you know, and eating a lot healthier and using our tools. Now you're gonna I'm just gonna share a little bit so that you know a little bit about the company that Renee has aligned herself with, and so you can support her. It's not a fly by night company. It's been around for over 50 years. Okay, they're based out of Memphis. Juice Plus is in a standalone product, so you can feel good about sharing that with other people in support of her. And then she's going to just share as she lives her life, social media, and then sharing education. That's what we do. And so I'm going to hand it over to Karen. Karen is the friend who introduced her to Juice Plus and this healthier lifestyle. And so we are Renee's support team. So any questions you have of her, she's going to be coming to us. So that's why we're on here. We want to help her get a good start with any of your questions or comments. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Karen.
Hey guys, how are you? Who would have thought this many years later we'd be talking about health and nutrition? I mean, I don't know, not me. But I want to, yeah, I know. So much of what Sharon said was my life. And I'm sure Renee remembers. My mom was a nurse. So it was not about prevention in my house. It was about treatment, right? We had the CVS drugstore in our house. It wasn't, you know, quit eating the Pop-Tarts and drinking the soda and you get a stomach ache. It was, here's the Pepto-Bismol. So I was adopted and I had the best treatment ever. I had allergies and asthma that was a gift from my birth mother. Thank you very much. And I was told by the doctor, I remember this distinctly. I was probably, I don't know, 8 years old. And I remember him saying, there's nothing you can do. You're going to always have allergies and asthma. And you just feel defeated when you feel like there's something in the family or you have something and you're told by a doctor, there's nothing that you can do. You're like, well, then it doesn't really matter what I do, right? I mean, how many times do we hear that? People think, oh, there's breast cancer in my family. Oh, there's heart disease in it doesn't matter what I do. It's genetic. And I'm so grateful that that has changed my life. So fast forward all these years, right? I did not really take care of myself. I was in sales. I was eating, you know, drinking a Slurpee for lunch and grabbing a bagel because, you know, time is money. I didn't really take care of myself. But when you're younger, your body kind of is, you know, forgiving. So besides the allergies and the asthma, I was still going strong and I was working out. But, you know, I was starting to slow down and not feel good, right? I was getting migraines, then I was getting digestive issues. So I can only imagine where I'd be now if I hadn't changed my health. Well, fast forward, I got married at 34. I was pregnant at 35, had my son at 36. But while I was pregnant, I was told by my best friend, Barb, you know, about Juice Plus. And she says, oh my gosh, you have to try this. And it didn't make sense to me because I was all about vitamins. I had been taking a ton of vitamins. I was taking the prenatals. And, you know, I didn't understand really why was, you know, fruits and vegetables in a capsule that much better than, you know, vitamins that we were taking. But thankfully, my dad and my mom looked into it and they were fascinated with the research. And at that time, I think there was only 20 something research studies because it's been 17 years now. I started 17 years ago this month, which is crazy to me. And so I was just like, all right, fine. You know what? I'll take it and I'll take it during the pregnancy. Well, so I took it for that about 7 months. And I wasn't allowed to take my prescription medication because I was pregnant. And the doctor told me, go ahead, you know, you can take the over the counter stuff. And I said, well, once you've taken the prescription, you can't take over the counter. I might as well eat a Skittle. So I just prepared myself for the worst. I prepared myself for terrible allergies and asthma. And I really feel like God kind of intervened because, you know, with the Juice Plus, because by the end of the pregnancy, I had realized that I hadn't needed even the over the counter medication. And it wasn't until somebody said something and I went, oh my gosh. And so honestly, the only thing I had given up during the pregnancy was soda. And so I really thought, you know, if those little pills can make that much of a difference in my health, imagine if I changed my eating. So kind of like what Sharon said, you know, it became one simple change, right? I didn't all of a sudden be like, oh, I'm going to go, you know, vegan. No, it was, you know, okay, well, I gave up soda. Let me give up one more thing. And then as soon as I can conquer that, then I'll try and do something else. And I added in. So I, you know, I have the tower garden. If you had told me 17 years ago, I'd be growing my own kale and Swiss chard, I would have told you were crazy because I was eating cheese and crackers for dinner. So, you know, I mean, honestly, and I missed it, don't get me wrong, but now I know better. So, but the thing that empowered me as a mom was when I was pregnant, I remember being so scared and thinking my poor kids are going to grow up with allergies and asthma like I did. And I am so grateful to tell you that they don't have allergies and asthma. It's not genetic. I haven't been on medication in 17 years, guys. I mean, it's, you know, I'm allergic to cats, so I don't go up and rub cats in my face, but you know, I can go and I can stay in somebody's house. I can pet them as long as I wash my hands. I mean, it's just been such a game changer. I can't imagine where my health would be if I hadn't, right? And where my kids' health would be. So this is generational. You know, think about, you know, when you're pregnant, you're actually, you know, you're thinking about, you know, my grandchildren's health, you know, at this point, because it's getting into my kids. So I'm just so grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, which was presented to me years ago, because it eventually led me to being able to stay at home with my kids. And I was homeroom mom and I was able to make every single honor roll. And I was able to, you know, pick them up from school and take them to the sports. And it has allowed me to be with my parents who, you know, at 2 different times have gotten sick and passed away. I didn't have to ask a boss off, you know, for vacation, right? My mom was diagnosed with cancer for 9 months. I helped take care of her. I didn't, you know, have to quit. Nothing happened. So it's just been such a blessing, the product and the business for me. So I love sharing it with friends. I love, you know, that we've reconnected, you know, because of this. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. And so I'm going to throw it back to Renee for any closing words to the people who are on here or to the people who are going to be watching the video.
Well, just a final thank you for everybody that's joined the call. I know some of you had joined late, and Sharon did indicate that this is going to be recorded. So once I receive it, I'll forward it out to everybody who wasn't able to attend the full length call. But I appreciate everybody's time. And does anybody have any questions while we're on the call with Sharon and Karen?
Right. We're going to turn off the recording so they feel comfortable.
Okay.
But we will definitely take a few